when you think about the communist Chinese government and what their interests are. Do you think they care about you? Not only do they not care about you, they want what is worse for you. On Monday, Governor Ron DeSantis, he signed now into law this legislation banning and just to be clear, when people say, stop Asian hate, stop Chinese hate, that was racism. It's not Asian hate, it's Chinese hate.
Chinese hate.
Stop Chinese hate. Look, no one here hates Chinese people. I do, however, hate the Chinese Communist Party, the government. And if you are an American and if you care about the Chinese people, you would be well advised to hate them also. So the bill bans the Communist Party. Some people are trying to frame it as though Chinese people, Chinese Americans, nope. The Chinese Communist government from buying land in the state of Florida.
So today, Florida makes it very clear, we don't want the CCP in the Sunshine State. We want to maintain this as the free state of Florida, and that's exactly what these bills are doing.
I love it. He has two Asians right there. Just
yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, no, China is asshole.
You beat me by like 2 seconds. I was about to push that.
Yeah, that wasn't by coincidence.
No. As you can see, we have two Chinese people here. Yes, I clap. I what you call prop. I prop.
Talking.
No, but the point. Look, the point is well made. I'm just joking. But so the law, just to be clear, it bans Chinese. It bans them from purchasing land in Florida, right? So there's also legislation like this that's being considered in Texas. Just to be clear.
But by the way, just let me make a quick point. This actually has caveats, right? So if you have dual citizenship, United States and Chinese, you can still buy land. Right. If you've been here for a certain period of time, you can still buy land. What they're trying to do is to make sure that the Chinese Communist Party can't come in and just buy up land, which is what they do around the world.
Right, so it stops Chinese nationals themselves, but it doesn't stop all Chinese. It doesn't stop any Americans, put it that way.
Not at all.
No Americans, no Chinese Americans. Stops, of course, the government of China and, of course, people who could be their proxies, half of whom have slept with Eric Swalwell. Like, I mean,
it's not a who's who list.
It's a conspiracy theory that we think they're trying to infiltrate our government. They slept with your representatives, and by the way, nothing happened. Nope. Yeah. That guy still is employed.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd fire interns here if I found out they were sleeping with Chinese spies.
Well, that's fair too. Yeah.
Well, come on, that's a little harsh.
Whose head just popped up? He's like, oh no. So, of course, the media is completely outraged, right, over these kinds of bills. And here is something, again, I've told you this, they'll try and turn this against you and say, well, so if you support any legislation, you're not a conservative because that means you support big government. No. Conservative, right-wing, if you want to use that term, conservative, constitutionalist, it doesn't mean that we don't believe in government. We believe in a very limited, legitimate purview of government. How do we find out? Well, good news is we have an instruction manual. Yeah, we have the Constitution of the United States. Mm-hmm. So protecting us from threats, foreign and domestic, that would be a legitimate role of government. That's why none of us say we shouldn't have a military. We think there's corruption in the military. We think there's corruption in our intelligence communities. We want to streamline it. We want it to be efficient, but there is a legitimate role for a military, for example, regulation to make sure that people are not being fleeced through business, through illegal means. These are legitimate roles, and I believe a legitimate role of the United States government would be to prevent a foreign adversary who wants to witness the destruction of America according to their own declarations. I think that's a legitimate role. You can comment if you agree, if you disagree, if you think that's unlibertarian of me. But of course, this is the argument that the left is using. They're outraged by the fact that communists cannot purchase land in Florida.
You know what? People said that when the Japanese took over, Pebble Beach, they bought Pebble Beach and they bought 30 Rock, that it was the end of the American century. And guess what?
Yes.
We survived it. You know what it's called? A free market, which again, Republicans are supposed to support free markets. Exactly. They're supposed to support free enterprise with Disney, with cruise lines, with small businesses. Like, this is about as overarching big government, socialist government as I've seen.
First off, he's so stupid that he referred to Disney and cruise lines as small businesses. Right. Now, I don't care if you're a big business, good for you, so long as you're an honest business. But again, it's not a free market for American land to be purchased through potentially funds that have been gained through coercion, like with communism. Let me understand this. it's socialist big government to not allow communist governments to buy land in the United States. Did I miss something? Is there something I missed?
No, I think you're hitting the nail on the head. In fact, but here's the fun part: we can't buy land in China. They allow us no rights to buy land. By the way, they don't even respect our freaking IP. They just take your phone and be like, "Well, that's interesting. We have one just like it in 3 months."
Yes, exactly. Yes.
It's like, why do we care what these people think? It's not Chinese citizens of the United States that we're talking about. Joe Scarborough, a former Republican congressman, I think, at some point. We're talking about the government. We're talking about China's playbook around the world. And apparently you haven't done any research on what they do.
He talked about Japan. And by the way, a lot of people don't understand that with the Japanese, first off, this is not like 1980s Japan. But if you look at, for example, Harley Davidson, huge mistake for Ronald Reagan. I think this goes back to the AMF days. These things were awful. But unfortunately, they put a bunch of tariffs on our motorcycles going overseas, right? In Japan, basically, they were effectively out of reach for purchase for the average Japanese citizen. And so they were shipping over better motorcycles like Honda, like Yamaha back then. And Ronald Reagan said, to make American companies competitive, we're going to put tariffs on it. But it was a quid pro quo because it was not, in fact, a free market.
Right, exactly. Same thing happened with Fujifilm. They basically dumped Fujifilm onto the American market at pennies on the dollar so that they could take out Kodak. Right. So these are not fair business practices. You can't expect us to play the free market game with people who don't have any interest in playing the free market game.
Especially if they decide to bankrupt American businesses through never-ending supply of dollars that are taken through coercion with the communist government, right? That's what China would love to do. China would love to put American businesses out of business by using taxpayer dollars, at gunpoint, and say, oh, just drop it for pennies on the dollar, take out the business, or same thing with land. How much land is too much? When you think about the communist Chinese government and what their interests are, do you think they care about you? Not only do they not care about you, they want what is worse for you, just to be clear.
By the way, you know who we're not telling to not buy land in the United States? Canada.
Yeah.
There's 17 other countries that have more land in the United States than does China. We're picking on China because of the Chinese Communist Party, the communist.
I don't want Canada to buy land either. But
I don't either. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, like
they had their shot, they blew it.
The cause for concern is not because it's Chinese, it's Asian. It's because
they have a bigger landmass than the United States to begin with. Sorry that most of it is a tundra wasteland. No. You chose it, okay?
We sold them Detroit, Stephen. It's fine. We didn't want that anyway.
Yeah. It's even worse than re-gifting.
Yeah.
Annex it. Take it. What the hell's the difference?
Take it back. Whatever.
And by the way, I don't know if you know this, the Chinese national, they're not just buying land in Florida. This happens across they've gone even as far north and west as Wyoming. They've Netflix Netflix got the rights for the TV show about it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. It's for people listening on audio, well worth it to switch to video.
Yes.
Stay on that one.
So a couple of fast facts. China owns about 384,000 acres of land in the United States. And, you ruined it. I was going to say, guess how many acres we have, but the answer is 0.
I'm sorry. I'm not feeling well.
Also, by the way, this is something else. You can even look at immigration laws in Mexico. We have some of the most, not only relaxed, not only tolerant, but subsidized policies as it relates to immigrants coming, not just illegal immigrants, but foreign nationals coming here to the United States and foreign governments. People don't realize that in Mexico, if you're not a citizen, the level of limitations on your rights, I don't know the exact law. Someone can bring it from the control room. You have it here?
Yeah, so you can't buy land within 50 miles of the coast, or 50 kilometers of the coast.
Oh, I thought it was like 50 feet.
No, it's 50 kilometers.
50 kilometers?
Or 100.
They don't even allow you to be beach adjacent?
Not even close. They have some fantastic cartel land that you can buy.
Yes, they
do. Or within 100 kilometers of the border, I believe, of an international border, which they only have 2. So,
can you imagine if we said, so if you're Mexican here, you're not a natural-born American, you can't buy property within 50 kilometers of the beach. I'm like, okay?
You mean like the only land I would ever want to buy in Mexico?
Yes, exactly. No, I'm saying in California or in Florida. Imagine if we didn't allow them anywhere near the beach. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Can you imagine the lamentations from the left? You won't let them get a beach condo.
No.
And I'm not saying that we shouldn't let them get beach condos.
They can't afford it anyway.
Oh, no. See, that's racist.
It's science.
But they do great work on them. So,
they do. Yes.
If you need to have your balcony outfitted,
Very hardworking.
You gotta get the right one.
Yeah.
Listen to this guy.
But this
The
is,
right one.
this is an issue, of course, is here in the, it's a national, let me know if you think it's a national security issue. You can comment below. Not to mention a primary concern, especially in Florida is relevant, the poorly built Chinese amusement parks.
Jeez, kids just went flying out of that thing.
They missed the second part of that clip where there's another one that goes flying.
Oof.
Yeah, it's even more violence. That's right, Yakuza, you saw the full clip.
Yeah, I did.
I want to see it.
It's
Messed
terrible.
up.
They're
Yeah.
all fine. All the kids are fine.
Yeah,
Are we sure about that?
I mean, they threw up.
Watch Louder with Crowder live, Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern.